Hello, my nomies. This week I've been trying a 2016 Kia Sorento SXL AWD. That means it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. It's an SUV. This particular model has an MSRP of $45,000. So as you can imagine, I've been very grateful to have had this experience to be able to translate it for you in this review. And if you're missing any of the driving footage, you're not really missing anything, because I posted that in the Pirillo vlogs. In the Pirillo Vlogs YouTube channel, which I assume you're already subscribed to and watching. It's definitely not a compact car, and I had to write that down because that was a part of my initial impressions, and I did not want to forget to tell you. I was taken aback by its sleek exterior, at least according to my eye, and it's not that I have an eye for design, it's just that I liked how it looked on the outside. Inside, well, you can see it's burgundy. There's plenty of space for the driver and passengers, whether they're in the passenger seat next to the driver's seat or in the back seat, which is usually where Diana's been, hanging out with Jedi in her own car seat. Beyond explaining that I'm not really a car geek, I should also explain that I'm not necessarily someone who would be in the market for an SUV. That said, if I had to choose an SUV, I would imagine it would be something a lot like this. I believe this is the third Kia vehicle that I've had a chance to test this year, and each time has been a good experience. I didn't really know much about Kia before now. You've got seat warmers and coolers in the front seats, plus a heated steering wheel, and heated side view mirrors, which would be important if it was snowing, but it's not snowing right now. It's summer in Seattle, and I'm recording this later in the evening so that I don't have the sun beating down upon me and overheating the camera and me at the same time. I've got the seat chiller on though. I'm staying cool. Oh, the car is running. Can you hear it? You got the panoramic roof, which is great, although I seem to have run into a few issues in getting the shade to open and close there, because the part of the window here actually pops up and out, and I didn't want that at times, and I couldn't figure out how to just make the shade go back, but eventually it worked itself out. So I like that in a vehicle. Not the confusing controls necessarily, the panoramic view in the roof. When I say a vehicle's teched out, I mean it. This has got that feature where it looks like it's a 360-degree view of your car, so you have a perfect park job every time. It's awesome. I cannot explain to you how amazing the camera system in this car is. It beats everything else that I've ever tried, and it seems to be unique to Kia. The side view mirrors had blind spot indicators, which is a must-have, especially for larger vehicles, again, as far as I'm concerned. The radar cruise control, huge bonus. Various drive modes for steering, although I just stuck to whatever was normal. You had a tire pressure monitor as well, though I didn't drive it enough to, see that decrease by any stretch of the imagination. Analog gauges, but a digital speedometer. See, we can get along. Plenty of power options up front, in the middle, and in the back. USB. They even have an AC adapter back here, just in case someone's in the back seat and needs to plug in a lamp or something. The nav system was responsive, and it had the little speed limit sign in there, so you knew exactly how fast you needed to be going, and you didn't want to go too fast. Now, speaking of, one of the things that jumped out at me was that this car kind of jumps. And I mean that in a good way, because it accelerates. Like, if you have an issue with a car not having enough power, I don't think you're going to have the problem in this vehicle. I don't know how you describe it, apart from you don't really have to push the pedal very hard to be able to accelerate. Like, sometimes it was like, oh, I didn't mean to go that fast so quickly. This Sorento comes packed with plenty of oomph. There are intuitive controls on the steering wheel, on the console, on the doors, everywhere. I never really had to think about how to get something done. I just knew what I wanted to get done and could get it done pretty quickly, apart from the whole panoramic roof slider thing. My wife says that the back seat was comfortable. She has fans back there and shades on either side, and that's very helpful, especially if you don't like the sun. I could have used one of those shades over here, but I don't think they make them for driver side. I mean for the driver in the driver's seat. The driver's side passenger back seat has a shade. Big trunk space, but that comes in exchange for not having seats back there, but that's fine by us. There are only 3 of us at this point in time, and we don't necessarily need to cart a lot of things around. What's incredibly convenient is to be able to press the button on the remote control or the button on the trunk door to have it open and close automatically. Very helpful when your arms are full. It seemed like a rather classy SUV. Not that I would really know what a classy SUV was. This would likely be it for me, though. Smooth, easy driving. I almost wanted to listen to jazz no matter where I went. Not that those two things go hand in hand necessarily. It's just a rather nice vehicle. You got a touchscreen, you got buttons, you got your manual controller automatic, you got more buttons there, you got switches here, and you know what? It's not too overwhelming. So who do I think the Kia Sorento is for? The kind of driver who wants a large vehicle, but not a minivan. For the small family that transports more than one bag, so, you know, you might transport a lot. Someone who wants an SUV with sedan creature comforts. Did that make sense? So who is the vehicle not for? An individual who commutes and does mostly in-town driving. Someone who doesn't have to deal with a variety of weather conditions, because otherwise, why would you need an all-wheel drive vehicle? Or maybe you're the type of person who doesn't need a lot of tech in your car. That's okay too. Not every vehicle is going to be for you. But it's kind of like I alluded to before. If I were to drive an SUV, I'd want to drive something like this. Wait a minute. Is this an SUV or an SXL? Is there a difference? I really don't know. Now, if I missed anything, it wasn't intentional. As I said, the driving footage is in the Pirillo Vlogs channel. You should be tuned into that anyway. And if you have any questions that I could possibly address, feel free to ask. I am here for you and there for another vehicle starting tomorrow. Thanks again for following me throughout social, for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, becoming a patron at chrispirillo.com. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.